One of the things we keep hearing a lot more about these days, I feel, are gamer moments. Oopsies, where people say things they probably shouldn't say in the heat of the moment, and it gets used against them, especially the more popular and powerful this person is. We saw this happen in 2018 with PewDiePie dropping a N-word hard R in regards to PUBG. That was his oopsie gamer moment, which brought a lot of people down on his head. And we've actually seen it now with DeadMau5 after he was playing PUBG and let out another slur. This time it was homophobic in nature and got him in a lot of trouble. He actually has come out now and apologized for the homophobic slur and the meltdown that followed. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit on the weird side, because there are people out there that are like, do not apologize for it. Do not apologize for saying that whatsoever. Do not say anything about this. You did nothing wrong. And some might agree with that. Some might disagree with that. But ultimately, here's what happened. During the PUBG match, he accused another player of stream sniping, adding that they were, and I quote, fucking cocksucking stream sniper fag, shortly after the Twitch suspension. So shortly after that happened, because he dropped that 3-letter word in the heat of the moment, whatever, Twitch got mad. Twitch booted him. And his response to it at first was also not good. He actually says here, I knew it was a fun place to connect and fuck around, but I'm not going to stand for Twitch's double standards when it comes to censoring and suspending me for harmless shit. Well, we've had some fun partnerships here and there, and they were a great company to work with. I'm going to have to cut this one short. I don't have the capacity to deal with this kind of shit. And then later on Reddit, he went on to say, well, this was intended as to insult a fucking asshat who was being a fucking asshat. It wasn't directed at an entire group of people who have sexual orientation that differs from my own. Fuck off with that shit. I know who I am, and I don't have to fucking sit here and cry to defend my fucking self with the obligatory, I'm not that person, I'm sorry reflex. I'm sorry for anything, or if I'm sorry for anything, I'm sorry that we live in a world where bottom-feeding pieces of shit can sit there staring at a monitor, watching me play video games, and just waiting for someone to get tilted so he can get a few fucking clicks. That's what I'm sorry for. And of course, the message has now ultimately been, well, deleted. He came out and deleted that. He said, you know, it was wrong of him to say that. Which, in my mind, that was a human response. Because someone like DeadMau5, he lives in a different world than you and me in that regard. And what he said was actually kind of correct. Not the insulting of a specific sexual orientation or nothing. But what he's talking about here is someone like him, who's big, who's famous, who's popular, playing a video game and waiting for and people who are just watching him on the other side of a monitor, waiting for him to make an oopsie, waiting for him to screw up so that they can sit there and run to their computers, type their blog posts about it, make videos about it. I mean, like, granted, I kind of do the same things. I can't really say anything about that. I don't wait specifically for that to happen, but when it does happen, I talk about it. I'm not sitting there trying to egg it on, I guess, in that particular regard. So I get what he's saying. He's got a point. He's got a point. There are people out there that do that. There are the vultures out there that 100% do that kind of shit, and it does get to be annoying. He's still screwed up, though. I think you got to be careful in that particular regard. There's still some responsibility to what you have to say. And he could have been like, look, I'm sorry that I said it. I didn't mean it the way that it came out. And there's that, and leave it at that. But getting pissed off and the meltdown that followed didn't make it any better. However, he's come out now with an actual apology. And this is what he says. He says, I realized that trying somewhat to dismiss it as gamer culture was even worse. I don't know why I did that, but I do know it was stupid and insensitive, and I feel even more ashamed. That was my worst moment. As for Twitch, they had every right to ban me for that. It was clearly in violation of their terms. Even if it wasn't, it was an all-around incredibly irresponsible and insensitive thing to say nonetheless, especially for someone who has a reach. What I said was incredibly stupid, and I don't actually hold those beliefs at all. I let some gamer get the best of me, and in that moment, I completely lost control, and me lashing back with some knee-jerk posts about how I may have seemed unjustified was completely unfair to Twitch and its viewers, so I apologize for that as well. Yeah, I can see why people have an issue with that. I kind of have an issue with that. His reasoning for being upset at the backlash was valid. People who were messing with him, stream sniping him, pissing him off, he says something stupid. That's that. He says something stupid, but then trying to blame it on gamer culture, I think is kind of dumb. People say stupid shit all the time. It doesn't matter what they're doing, right? Calling it a gamer moment, I think is kind of minimizing gamers. All right. I get pissed off in gaming as well. And the words that fly out of my mouth are terrible, are absolutely terrible. But I say them, and then I'm not like saying racist or homophobic stuff, but I say, I let loose a flurry of swear words that would make some sailors blush. And I do it because I get frustrated. I get in the moment. That's what happens. But that's not all of gaming culture. That's me as a person. I do the same thing when I'm in the freaking traffic and someone cuts me off in traffic. I have terrible road rage. So it's like the words I say there, it's not a gamer thing. It's not a gaming specific thing. And anyone who's trying to turn it into a gaming specific thing are being disingenuous. Well, cocksuckers. That's what they're being. They're being disingenuous as fuck because people are emotionally driven. People emotionally react and they say things because they just want to hurt the other person as much as they can. It's not a good thing. It's not a great thing. I'm not saying it's something we should champion and cherish in people, but it's an intrinsic human flaw that people make. Now, the thing here is that DeadMau5 does have a reach. So there is some responsibility in regards to that. You may disagree with that, and that's absolutely fine. But the way I view it is someone like that, someone like PewDiePie, you gotta be more careful. And it's not just like, it sucks that that's the case. It does. It sucks that that's the case. But look, there's reasons why. And I'll give you guys a quick example here. So InfoWars, for example, big reach. Alex Jones says some of the craziest stuff out there, right? Says some crazy, crazy stuff. A woman in Florida believed him wholeheartedly when he was talking about Sandy Hook and that it was a conspiracy, that she started harassing the families, a family in particular, to the point of where a judge ordered her to never watch InfoWars ever again. So yes, people who are like Alex Jones and PewDiePie and DeadMau5, they have an audience, and that audience believes them because to them, they are coming across as arbiters of truth. Even if it's entertainment based, the people still believe it as being realistic. So yeah, you have to be careful. So ultimately, all DeadMau5 should do is just apologize to the guy. Go, look, I'm sorry I called you that, whatever, man. And I guarantee you the guy who he pissed off probably reveled in it. Didn't even care one iota. So here's the thing. Are people more mad at him for who he said it to, or are they trying to be offended on behalf of? Because if the person that he said it to isn't offended, then there's no harm, no foul. There's no crime, and he shouldn't ultimately apologize. But again, that's a perfect world, and we don't live in that perfect world. So I don't think I'll be coming back to Twitch anytime soon. PUBG really does bring out the worst in people, I would say. So Apex Legends, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by EA. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. But I do want to hear you guys' thoughts on this one, because people out there might try to accuse me, oh, you're just being an SJW. I'm really not, because I'm talking about personal responsibility in the position that you have, as well as being mindful of what you say around other people in the world we live in. It sucks, but the thing is, you know what? A random commenter behind, anime lover 896 is not going to have the reach that DeadMau5 has. So you have to be more careful with that. You have to very much be careful with that. There are YouTubers I know that have made comments in live streams that had ended up becoming articles on very prolific websites that have seen them absolutely removed from the platform in some cases, or they've been, labeled as something that they feel that they're not, because the person took their words and went with it. And that's the world that we live in. So it sucks, but that's the world we live in. So that's the whole point here is if this is a business, this is your livelihood, and you care, you have to watch out. Because there are always people out there that are going to be trying to find any way they can to clip you at the knees, to take you down, to take you out back and beat you with the shovel. Because that's the world we live in too. And it sucks. And I'm not a fan of it. But I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions. Write them down below. If you guys made it this far, go ahead and type in DeadMau5 in the chat so I know. Be sure to thumbs up the video, subscribe if you want. If you want to support the channel, become a member, join below. It's better than Patreon. They take 30%, which sucks, but you know what? You're not giving your money to bastards like that. I thought you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. And check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.